Good afternoon, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I have Olin Host Shorty. And yeah, Tuesday one. Not an often thing I do often. Thing is, I've got a few to review this week, starting tomorrow. But there's a couple that I was really looking forward to, like almost been on my own list kind of thing, that are not coming in because of the current supply issues. So we don't have Arkham City Order of the World, and we don't have Soul Plumber coming in. And those are two things I was going to review. I thought, so if you know what, I should have been let down by it all. Let's just start early. Let's get on with it and do something that came out a week ago that I never got around to. Gun Honey. And it's one of the hard case crime things from Titan Comics. And if you were to go through my book collection, either physical or what I've got on Audible, you wouldn't see much crime in there. It's just not a genre I really get on with, even movie-wise. It's not a thing. TV shows, no. Pretty much the only thing I've really enjoyed has been Stephen King does it, and Stephen King has written for hard case crime, so I thought, yeah, okay, let's give it a shot. But you have to kind of think if Stephen King is going to be no supernatural stuff, and a bit of a stretch, I know, but he managed it for like an entire book of 3. But this is not Stephen King. I actually really didn't know who the author or artist were when I picked this up. There's a little bit of info in the back, which is worth reading if you're interested in this kind of thing. But we're looking at Charles Ardai and artist Angkor King, and I've no idea if I've pronounced that name correctly or what gender they are. So we're going to just be doing they, them for this entirety of the review, and hopefully won't annoy too many people. So a little bit at the back kind of tells you that it started out as an idea from the current writer who actually wanted somebody else to do it, and they never got around to it, so he wrote it himself. Really cool. Then they met the artist, and they were from the place where a lot of the inspiration came from, basically looking at Southeast Asian kind of stuff. And that was kind of nice. Got to admit, like, that kind of representation doesn't get seen very much, or if it does, it's not necessarily in the best light. I'm currently really enjoying The Good Asian, so there's stuff out there. But what appears to be kind of, I'm guessing here, but with the gentleman's name, I'm assuming white gentleman, writing female Malaysian kind of intrigue crime stuff. Maybe there's like a representation thing of find somebody a bit more suited to the role, but that's not to say you have to do that. You could just find somebody who's a great writer and give them a character, and they've done that well in this. The person that originally wanted to write it was somebody, well, they took their inspiration from that person's culture, so yay. This story is action-packed, let's say, but quite a lot of action doesn't happen on the pages, and I think that's a really, really nice thing, because with hard case crime, you've got that kind of noir-esque kind of feel to it. Think Chinatown, if you ever want to go and watch something like a kind of perfectly epitomizes that for me. But in that kind of movie and this kind of story, I think sometimes like overdoing like the violence you actually see on screen takes away from that kind of hard-boiled nature to it. There should be people out solving crimes or doing crimes for that matter, not necessarily lots of ultra-violent gunplay and the like. Because the character, Gun Honey, as she's mostly referred to, is someone who just gets guns where they need to be. And this isn't just being a gun dealer, although she certainly is capable of doing that. She is somebody who can find a way into a location where nobody would expect her to be and leave a gun there for somebody else, specifically an assassin, who then will get into the location without having been checked for guns because one is waiting for them and can do the job they're paid to do. Very cool little idea, like a nice little change on the whole just gun running or assassin kind of thing. That intermediary doesn't necessarily need to exist. It's a role she's created. And the character actually is very cool to have created that role. You get a little bit of background for the character, not a whole bunch. I'm not going to say like in issue 1, it's an encyclopedic backstory of intricate details, but you get enough to kind of set her up as why she would be good at this role, why she would want to do something like this, and it plays into her heritage and her background and personal family history as well, all of which is very, very well done. There's a couple of like less rounded characters. There is government spooks who basically just do what they're doing because they're working for the government. You don't really get much of a sense of them, hoping more of that's going to come out later. And some bad guys who are kind of just there to be bad guys. But when you're doing like this kind of hard-boiled crime thing, I feel like you can get away with it a little bit more. I'm guessing away with it is what this comic does really quite effectively, because it's good. It is solid. But it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that it's called Gun Honey, and this is the cover we have. And there's quite a lot of her wearing exceptionally tight clothing and bikinis and the like. If you can't get your head around the fact that this is exactly the genre for telling that story, it can come across as problematic. And I'm struggle to argue really strongly against it. But I approached it with a certain frame of mind, and it did everything I wanted it to, and was really, really good fun while I was doing it. I'm going to show you a little bit of the artwork before I go, because it does something really quite nice, which is after that shiny cover, it does very old school, very intricate line work for the shading and coloring and everything. Really, really solid. Actually, the more I was going through, the more I was falling in love with the artwork. All in all, a very, very competent mix that tells a really, really cool story. Right, now I can come back tomorrow. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to review, including one that's on my pull list called Out, which I'm thinking is going to be cool. But until you see me again, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.